on the block. Number one, I have some notes here, and I lost the page for my notes. Okay, there we go. Finalcall.com. Finalcall.com. And please forgive me, I don't have the latest issue of the Final Call that I can reach out to, but you know, you can see brothers.
I left it downstairs. I could run and get it.
Right. I left it in the other, in another car.
Oh, I know.
But
I'll do what
I
I need
have
to do.
Final Calls now. I always have Final Calls. I just don't have that latest one. But you want to get that issue to keep up with what's going on in your community, in the states, as well as in the world. You can go to finalcall.com, FINALCALL.com, to read some of the articles. You can also subscribe at finalcalldigital.com, finalcalldigital.com, so to come to your electronic device. There we go, the resurrection and the light, the dynamic lecture that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan gave at the leadership conference in Chicago last week. So you can go to finalcalldigital.com and subscribe to the Final Call, or you can call 404-438-3156. Leave your name, telephone number, email address, and we are able to, we have a subscription program starting with this issue, well, last week's issue, to the end of the month, to the end of the year rather, for only $20. The Final Call will be brought to your office or to your home anywhere within a 30-mile radius of downtown Atlanta every week, from last week's issue up until the last issue of 2018, brought to your home and or to your office for only $20. Do the math for that. And, you know, we ain't gonna charge you extra for gas or none of that kind of stuff. It's all inclusive in the $20. But you can call 404-438-3156, or you can PayPal, paypal.me/Jahi Muhammad, JAHIMUHAMMAD, if you're interested in that subscription program. So you know without a shadow of a doubt, you will have your Final Call. Economicblueprint.org. We are always happy to announce this particular program because it's the program that allows us to be able to finance our own liberation. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said 5 cents a day, 35 cents a week, $1.40 a month. That's $18.20 a year. 16 million of us as wage earners or business owners contribute to that fund. That gives us $291,200,000 every year by contributing that $18.20 a year to the economicblueprint.org, so that we can buy the land. America is for sale. There are millions and millions and millions of acres of land for sale in America. John Malone, who owns Everything Media, is the largest single landowner in the United States. He owns approximately 2.2 million acres of land. 16 million of us getting together, you know we can buy a whole lot more land than just that one person. Ted Turner of Turner Broadcasting fame is the second largest single owner of property in America. He owns about 2 million acres of land. So let us pool our resources, a nickel a day. Economicblueprint.org is the beginning of the month. It's the first of the month. So you can go and and make that contribution to economicblueprint.org. Also,
you know, Brother Jahi, with that, on that land, I have to mention, you know, as I'm working on See the Greatness, right? And little Elijah and Sweet Khadijah and the Agra children, all are part of the members of the Agra Nation, these, you know, those who are defenders of agriculture. And these looking at how much land they actually live on is what brought this whole thing to light, because I'm working on these books and realizing that, wow, I was scaling it down to 1,000. I thought 10,000 acres or 100,000 acres. Wow, that's just like so much. You know, we think about, we have some of us who own homes and own land. We may have an acre or two, you know. The largest amongst us as individuals, maybe 30 acres, 33 acres. You know, but when you look at, okay, I said, well, let me see if I have enough with the 10 families that I have on this virtual world, if you will, for the children, you know, and looking at how much acreage you actually need, you know, as we have in our problem book, to ask us how much will we need, you know. So when you look at the largest in the world owns 22 million.
Right.
22 million. The next largest is 11 million. And in the United States is the 2.5 million, right? Is that correct?
About 2.2, 2.3,
right,
something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, you know, in between anything over 2.
Right. I mean, it's a lot.
Right?
Yeah,
2 million acres. And our mind is expanding, you know, up to only like 100 acres. And like, we're thinking that's like astronomical. No, it is not. You know, we need enough acreage to be able to feed our people. We have to expand our thinking with regards to how much land we actually need. Absolutely.
That's absolutely correct. Well, yeah, I remember that.
Thank you for sharing that.
You were talking about 1,000 acres, which is a lot. Don't get us wrong. But in the bigger scheme of things, it's a drop in the bucket. The Nation of Islam, through the leadership of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, paid off 1,556 acres of land about 10, 12 years ago in South Georgia that he purchased in the late 90s, began buying in the late 90s, and went ahead and wrote the guy a check in 2004, 14 years ago, just went out and the guy was upset because he never thought we would pay it off. He thought he was going to be getting that money forever. Finance, the minister doesn't operate like that. So your money goes to good use, the good fiscal policy. So economicblueprint.org. Also,
and then from that, we get the staple goods. We get our Navy,
absolutely. You get
sugar,
everything that we need.
We get our flour. We get watermelon, and whatever is in season. And then we have the Able products at is it Able.net, AbleNetwork.net. I'll bring that up in a second. So we'll have the exact address for Able, where we get our fish, and lamb, whole wheat rolls, and all of that. But you can go ahead. I'll bring it up in a second.
Fantastic. So we need land. Land is the basis of a nation. So a nickel a day, 35 cents a week, $1.40 a month, $18.20 a year to economicblueprint.org. So go ahead right now and make your contribution. Pull up economicblueprint.org. And I have clients that are looking to hire immediately. If you're in the Atlanta metropolitan area and you are looking for a job, or you know somebody is looking for a job, your son or nephew, 18 years or older, sitting on the couch playing video games all day, and you want them to be more productive, we do have jobs available for them in the arena of customer service, security, and crowd control. Those are the 3 that I have clients that are looking for people today. So email us at AtlantaJobs2019, AtlantaJobs2019@gmail.com. Email your name and your contact number and something that you've been doing. If you don't have a resume, I understand, in dealing with a lot of us, that resume scares us. Not a problem. We can work through that. I want to know that you're interested so that I can vouch for you as I pass your name and contact information along to those clients of ours that are hiring. Customer service, security, and crowd control. Hiring right now. Starting pay. I know we like to well, how much does it pay? It starts off paying $12 an hour. $12 an hour for someone that doesn't have a long history background is a lot of money, and we're talking full-time position, 40 hours plus a week. But I need y'all to email me at Atlanta, the whole word Atlanta, ATLANTA, jobs, JOBS, 2019, 2019 @gmail.com. Do that immediately. I need to hear from y'all like right now, so I can. They calling me like, Jahi, who you got for us? So I need to be able to send them something. We have a lot of jobs available. And before we bring up our special guest co-host and our guests for tonight. I think they may be on
Yeah.
already. For those of you in the Washington D.C., the DMV area, I will be there next Monday. Next Monday, I will be speaking at a Productivity Day conference at Keller Williams Preferred Properties. Keller Williams Preferred Properties Productivity Day conference. It's in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, 1441 McCormick Drive, Upper Marlboro, Maryland. I open up the conference 9 o'clock next Monday. If you want to attend, please email us at Mind Money Show, MINDMONEY show, mindmoneyshow@gmail.com. Let me know that you're in the area and you're interested in attending this dynamic conference that they're having with all of the real estate agents, Keller Williams real estate agents. I will be speaking on effective communication awareness. Effective communication awareness next Monday, and I will have one of the owners of the real estate agency as our special guest next Monday evening. Brother Jason Fenwick, he will be one of our guests next Monday evening here on Mind and Money Show. So that's it for Word on the Block. Follow our worldwide Word on the Block. And before I bring,
I want them to see the website for Able. It is theablenetwork.com. Theablenetwork.com, and you see these are all the items that you can get grown by us, prepared by us. Of course, the dishes are prepared, but this is what you can prepare. The food is frozen, flash frozen. So the fish, the chicken, all organic, tested over I forget how many times. Do you remember, Brother Jahi, by the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan had requested that the food be tested for so many different, I think it was 25.
It was a lot. Yes, it went through a thorough.
The most tested in the country.
Absolutely.
The most tested meats and fish in the country. That much we do know. Because the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is a stickler for making sure that what we have is the best. So that's what we have. Orange juice is absolutely phenomenal. This orange juice comes from the Indian reservation. If you're an orange juice drinker, you will love this orange juice. We have coffee, we have broccoli, we have whole wheat bread, chicken, lamb, and salmon, coho, sockeye, and sole. Right there at theablenetwork.com.
All right, sounds good. Oh yes, that was it from Falah Worldwide Word on the Block. So let's do this. I think we have our guest up, and Sister Shireen, are you able to introduce her, and then we can come back and I'll do the formal introduction of you and the formal introduction of our special guest co-host.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so who we have coming up, and I'm really excited about this. One of my sisters is in the same profession as she, and her name is Shawn Denise Andrews. She is a senior paralegal with a national law firm located in Atlanta, Georgia. She is the founder of the American Paralegal Network and the host for podcast Andrew Legal Matters. Additionally, Shawn creates and curates articles focusing on the professional development of litigation paralegals. Shawn may be contacted on LinkedIn at LinkedIn, or she can be contacted on LinkedIn at Shawn D. Andrews. Just put in Shawn D. Andrews and you'll find her there at LinkedIn. Paralegals are emerging and changing the world. So we're going to bring up our dear sister Shawn Denise Andrews.
Thanks for having me.
Wonderful.
Welcome, Sister Shawn.
It is a pleasure to have you on. You know, I love to be able to represent this profession in the dynamics that it exists in, and that, you know, some people think of lawyers, think of a lawyer. You know, they don't even think of the various, especially, you know, our young people. I work with young people on a high school level, and post-secondary level, and they a lot of times only are aware of the lawyer in the law field. So thank you so much for coming on and representing the paralegal branch of law and justice.
You're welcome.
So tell us, why did you choose to become a paralegal?
Well, I chose to become a paralegal because, number one, it's not as expensive as becoming an attorney, but it does offer challenging and interesting work. And there's a growing demand, believe it or not, for paralegals. And it pays well. There's upward mobility. You have a lot of flexibility and variety in terms of the different types of practice groups that you can go into. And then you also have a certain prestige among your peers as a legal professional. And again, if you're looking to, you know, build your skills, whether it be for customer service or technology, or even really just building a rapport and learning how to communicate with people and really having great customer service skills, a paralegal can help you do that as long as you're open and willing to do the hard work.
Excellent, excellent. So, you know, I'm thinking of, you know, the paralegal, and I know that they have paralegal program at Atlanta Tech. And I believe all of the technical colleges in the state of Georgia that are a part of the Georgia Technical College arena or area. What is a paralegal and what do they do?
Okay, so a paralegal is a legal professional that has their credentials, just like you just described, either from a technical school or a college. And for me, they had a program that a lot of paralegals went through over, I guess you could say almost 20 years ago now, through a program called National Center for Paralegal Training. And so then it was just a 10-month program. Now today, it's a completely different ballgame. You actually either have to go through I think it's a 2-year degree or a 4-year degree, whereas again, years ago, you didn't have to do that. And so a paralegal basically is a legal professional that has the credentials, which means ABA, which stands for American Bar Association, which means you're certified to actually work as a paralegal, as opposed to you're not an attorney. So as a paralegal, I just want to make sure that I'm clear that paralegals are not allowed to give legal advice. We just have the credentials to be able to work in a law firm and actually work on legal documents, of course, under the supervision of an attorney. And the type of work that we do can range from, and I'll try not to get too technical with the legal terminology, but I'll try to break it down in layman's terms. But some of the things that we do are preparing subpoenas, assisting with trial, getting exhibits together for trial, scheduling depositions. And just for people that may or may not know, a deposition is really your testimony as to what took place, for example, in a car accident, whether you were the plaintiff, which is the person that was actually injured, or a defendant, which is the person that's actually being sued by the plaintiff, claiming that it's your fault for the injuries that they sustain. As well as we can actually prepare requests for medical records. We summarize medical records. We actually summarize and identify medical specials in relation to accidents. So there's a wide range of different things that we can do as a paralegal, even down to drafting legal documents for the attorney to review in preparation for filing with the clerk. And again, it also just depends on your area of expertise as to what type of work you'll do as a paralegal. But the things that I just described is more so along the lines if you're a litigation paralegal. Those are some of the type of duties that you would perform.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yes, ma'am. And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Right. Okay, so what tips can you provide to a paralegal interested in breaking into the legal industry?
Some of the tips that I can provide that are critical, because everybody cannot be a paralegal. It definitely takes a specialized skill set, meaning you have to be organized. And when I say organized, you don't want your desk to be in a mess. You need to have things in order so that you know where they are. And then let's just say, for example, if you're out of the office working in the field, if you will, it could be, reviewing documents because you're looking for that one critical document in a whole stack of documents. You want to be able to tell people that, hey, you can go to my desk and you can find X, Y, Z either on top of my, bin in my inbox or my outbox. So being organized is very key. You also need to be a team player. That means that if somebody needs you to do something last minute and it wasn't on your schedule for today, you need to be able to jump in and, handle that task and really get it done. And one of the most important things that I cannot stress enough on top of being organized is your work product. You want to make sure that you're presenting and providing good quality work, because when you do that, that means that an attorney can count on you as well as get it to that attorney on time in terms of deadlines. Those are also key. So if you can be organized, be a team player, provide good quality work in a timely fashion and on time, those attorneys are going to depend on you and consider you reliable, and they're always going to want to work with you. So those are some of the key things that are important to being a good paralegal, as well as also being an initiator and also being interested in work. And again, making sure that if an attorney doesn't follow with you on something, you follow with them. Don't just let them come to you.
Okay. You brought something up, so I'm gonna go off script just a little bit with regards to, managing paper. And now we are in this electronic world. So I'm wondering, how has electronics affected paralegals, if at all? Because I know there are times when you need original signatures and things like that. So this is one of those industries that still need a lot of paper, huh?
Yes, ma'am. That is true. So to answer that question, you're right. For example, we always have to have certified documents or certifications for medical records, because whenever you go to trial, you have to have a certification basically stating that what you have is a complete set of those medical records. If you don't have that certification, it's almost like saying your records are not valid. So you're right.
Wow.
There are certain things that we can still keep electronically, which means that, if it's a pleading, and when I say a pleading, that could be like a notice to take a deposition, or it could be discovery. Discovery, when I use that term, that means the investigation stage. That means that whether you're the plaintiff or the defendant, you're both trying to plead your case, and you're trying to do everything you can to investigate and put all the facts on the table that are favorable to your side. And so those kinds of things can stay in electronic format, but even with those, when you get ready to go to trial, you still need like the original signed copy, which people prefer you to sign in blue because blue always shows up easier as opposed to black. Right. So it's a twofold answer. Some things we still keep in electronic format, and then there's some things, like I just explained, like certifications, you definitely need to have the originals of those. So I don't think that we'll ever be paperless in the future ever, because again, we're always going to need those originals unless they change something in the law that states that if you have an original that's scanned in, that will be sufficient. Otherwise, you're always going to need that one piece of paper or that one document that has to be in an original format.
So lawyers and paralegals still are those still carrying around big giant briefcases?
Yes, ma'am, that is so true, because, for example, like whenever we have mediation, which is where you're trying to actually settle a case before trial,
right?
You are putting exhibits in a binder so that your mediator and or the people that you're presenting your presentation to can look at those hard documents, whether it be in a PowerPoint presentation or, some kind of projector, or even if you just want to, have a piece of paper that you're, passing around the room. So you're right. You still have to have those hard copies with, binders and those big briefcases. And the same thing for trial. You can't get away from having those hard copies that you need, because those are needed for the jurors or for the witness on the stand to be able to review and actually, testify to the, validity of those documents.
Right. I'm thinking about Denzel in the movie. I forget the first name. Is it Jay Israel or something like that?
Yes, ma'am. That was an excellent movie.
Right. He had. Roman J. Israel, and I was when I was watching it, I really thought it was based on a true story. He did such an excellent job, and the writers did an excellent job as well to make it appear like it was real. But he definitely had that big giant briefcase. So thank you for sharing that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. What are 3 key things that will make a paralegal successful in their career?
One of the things that I don't think a lot of people realize is attitude. Attitude is so key because it's almost like if, I think I heard this today earlier in terms of your energy. Whatever energy that you present, it definitely can roll off onto whomever is around you.
Right.
And people want to have someone that they can feel like no matter what the task is, whether it's tedious or it's something you may or may not want to do, that they can give you anything to do because you have a great attitude. And not only do you have a great attitude, but you're also great to work with because your work represents itself in terms of the quality. So I cannot stress that enough. I've heard it over and over again with me as an individual that the attorneys and the staff that I work with, they like my attitude and they like the fact that I will jump in and help at any cost. Another thing that I think that will make a paralegal successful in their career is you have to write things down. Writing things down is important because we cannot always go off from memory, whether we're, young, middle age, or older, we can have that human tendency to forget things. So if you write things down and have a way to refer back to what you've written down, you can't go wrong. And one other thing that I think that's important that will make you successful as a paralegal is, again, taking the initiative to go through the file, read through the file that you're working on, understand exactly what kind of case is it, and ask questions. Build that rapport with your attorney so that you know what's going on. Try to find out if there's anything else that you can do to help the case and the client. Those are all important. And really, if you do those 3 things in conjunction with probably several other things I haven't mentioned, because once you get into the mix of being a paralegal and as you build your experience, additional things will come that that will be automatic that you need to do as a paralegal to be successful and also, make your attorney look good as well as the client. And then also to prevail, obviously at the end of the case so that you can, I'll just say prevail so that your client that you're representing will win and not have to pay out any money, if at all.
Yes. Now, I love this program, Suits. I've seen every episode. I recorded. I've seen each season. I'm looking forward to the next season. And I know that in that show, they have paralegals. And is those who don't know, Suits is based on the setting is a law firm. And so, the key actors or characters are lawyers and also paralegals and secretaries to lawyers. So you kind of see the functioning of a law office and some of the cases that they deal with and how each person supports the other. So tell me, how important do you think the role that Meghan Markle played, the now married to the Prince Harry, played in the TV show Suits?
I think the number one thing that she did that was important is really to let people know, first of all, what a paralegal is, because I think people have probably heard that term. And I think that a lot of times, even over my experience, people have assumed that a paralegal is an attorney, which is obviously incorrect. So I think that her position on TV has really showed people that a paralegal is a legal professional that really gets in the trenches and helps the attorney do all the hard work so that they can present the case to the jury or to the judge. So I think that role is so important because a lot of people didn't know that. And, we're just, as a legal professional, as an attorney, the only difference is we don't have the JD degree and we can't go to court to actually, stand up in front of a judge or a jury. So again, we do a lot of the hard work. And I think that was, again, one of the most important things that she could have done in her role to show that paralegals are important. You know, we play a really vital role in what needs to get done. And we spend a lot of hard hours, just like attorneys do. And we also bill, if you're a defense paralegal, we also bill hours as well. So we're also helping the firm generate money.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Great question, Sister Shireen. You stole my thunder. I was going to ask you, Shawn, have you seen any residual effects from Meghan Markle? Now, I think she's the Duchess of Dorchester or something like that. And the role that she made famous is that of I think it was the chief paralegal on Suits. So with that popularity, have you seen any residual effects from that in the paralegal arena?
Not directly, I have not, but I have noticed that, like, in the news, more and more stories about paralegals are coming out, but not necessarily in a way that just talks about their job description. It just really mentions in terms of their profession, you know, whether it be, I think it was either South Carolina, I think it was, or North Carolina, where a paralegal was injured due to one of the, I guess, I can't remember if it was like a march or, you know, something to support what was going on down there during that time. But directly, I have not, no.
Okay. All right. Wonderful.
You know, I would want to look at the stats on enrollment for paralegals. You know, especially knowing that she did an excellent job in showing her prominencies in that field, and showing how, like you said, how important it is. So I'm wondering if the programs that are offering paralegal, is it a certification, diploma? What is it?
You know what, today, since I'm out of the loop and I've gotten my degree or certificate so long ago, mm-hmm. I'm not really sure what is required today, because again, you know, during those times in the early 2000s, you know, we just went through a 10-month program and got an ABA, which is, again, stands for American Bar Association certification, which is what
right.
you need. So right. Today, I don't know exactly what's being offered. Mm-hmm. But if you, as a paralegal, are trying to get your certification, you definitely need to have an ABA approved certificate, because when attorneys are interviewing or looking at your resume, they want to know that you've been certified. That's important.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't remember, but I'm going to look it up, since I advise students and I'm always showing them how to go about looking up different programs that they can do. And, you know, four-year college is not for everyone, not just because, a lot of times when we hear that, we think that we're talking about, you know, how your intelligence. It's not just intelligence that you need you need you need to have the discipline to sit and read that much material and report back and write papers and things like that. You know, those with the degrees, the 4 year, 6 year, and of course for a lawyer, you're going to do at least 6 to 8 years to complete that, because you got to do your 4 year and then you have to go into law school. So I'm showing right now, this is the Atlanta Technical College, and they have not paid us anything, but it is something that I think is beneficial to us to encourage our young people in particular to go and get their certifications. But they have a paralegal program here, and that program is an associate's degree. So you are right, it has changed slightly. So it is an associate's degree. You'll have 2 years worth of credits to transfer if you wanted to. The program is very economical. It's only $10,000, that less than $10,500. And so you can go at your own time and take a look at what you would have to do to complete that. And a lot of it is covered by the HOPE grant if you are in Georgia. I know this is worldwide, but most states offer some sort of a grant for technical colleges to get certified. So you may end up not having to pay anything. I know in the state of Georgia it's 90% for the HOPE grant, and you come out of pocket with 10% that depending on your income. So I just wanted to share that with those who may be interested and encouraging or be encouraged yourself to go into paralegal. So a question for you: How can paralegals market themselves? You know, this is a business platform, and we are encouraging those of us, particularly who have that, they believe they have that business acumen, they can go out and create their own businesses. What I was going to say, how can paralegals market themselves? Because that is the biggest thing in business, is being able to market yourself on social media platforms like LinkedIn.
One of the things that paralegals can do is you definitely need to create a LinkedIn page.
Mm-hmm.
You know, go through all the tabs, you know, filling your background experience.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely need to have a photo that's up to date and current.
Mm-hmm.
And I would make sure that you connect with attorneys and legal professionals in your area of expertise. That's definitely important. And if you're not a creator in terms of articles and podcasts, it'd be something I would consider doing, you know, because it's career development that you can continue to push out there for other paralegals that either may or may not have as much experience as yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And the information that you're putting out there can help them either do their job more effectively or cut down time in terms of a task they haven't done before, you know, whether it be, let's just say, for example, a document production, and that's basically getting a bunch of documents out the door, you know, trying to save time on what's the better or easier way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, again, post articles, share articles. If you're not one to want to create, put information out there that you found for paralegals that is, again, towards career development.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I can't stress that enough in terms of, you know, getting on LinkedIn and, you know, using that platform to connect with people that are in the same field as you.
Mm-hmm.
Because you never know if you will find someone that is either looking for a paralegal. So it's a way to network as well.
Mm-hmm.
For other positions. Also, they have all kinds of things that they advertise in terms of CLEs for paralegals out there. So if there's not something that you want to necessarily post, you may be able to go and visit a law firm that actually hosts a CLE in case if you're a certified paralegal and you're trying to get those credits in for the year that you need. So LinkedIn is a good way, again, to market yourself, whether it be to network, create articles, podcasts, share information, and then again, make sure that you're putting information out there because you never know if someone may reach out to you for some help.
Okay, excellent. What trends do you see in the for paralegals in the future?
Two trends that I see for paralegals in the future are, I think there's going to continue to be more frivolous lawsuits. You know, the commercials that we see on TV as well as on the radio about how much money you can get if you're involved in a lawsuit. Mm-hmm. So that means that people are going to continue to believe that and feel that their case is worth, let's just say, $1 million. And so they're going to continue to file more lawsuits, which means that that's going to be more work for paralegals to do, whether you're on the paralegal, the plaintiff side or the defense side. And number two, I think that virtual paralegals, I think, are going to become even more bigger than what they are or well known. And a virtual paralegal would be someone that an attorney would want to hire to work as contract from home as opposed to being in the office. And I think that what that will do is cut down their costs in terms of having to pay for benefits or someone, you know, a parking decal for someone that has to park 5 days a week. So I think virtual paralegals will be on the increase or on the rise for attorneys to want to hire as opposed to having a full-time staff member sitting in the office that they have to actually pay a salary. And the benefit of a virtual paralegal is you could work with any attorney across the United States without having to be certified. And when I say certified, that's different from getting your certification as a paralegal. Certified is an actual test that you take saying that you have completed an exam of, you know, all these different areas of expertise as a certification. So those are two different things.
Okay.
Wow. Make sure I'm clear on that. Yes, ma'am. So that would give you the ability to, you know, to work with different people in different states without having the laws of either Georgia or any other state that would prevent you from doing so.
Excellent, excellent. Now, how can our listening audience get in touch with you if they should so desire?
Yes, ma'am. So as you mentioned earlier in the beginning, I can be reached by just, going on LinkedIn and just, putting in a search for my name, Shawn D. Andrews. And that's the best way to get in touch with me.
Excellent, excellent. So Shawn, and that's Shawn, S-H-A-W-N, as you see on the screen, Shawn D. Andrews, to search for her contact on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for coming on Mind and Money Matters live show and representing during the month of October for our opening in the Ministry of Law and Justice. Brother Jahi, did you want to bring up our dear Sister Barbara?
Oh, absolutely. And I want to thank Sister Shawn for agreeing with her hectic schedule. And I also want you to please extend the greetings of peace and paradise to your husband, who's a long time dear friend of mine, for recommending. He said, hey, my wife is an expert in paralegal. And then I think he probably just turned around and handed you the phone the other day when I called. So thank both of you for sharing that valuable information with us. And Shawn, if you're able to stay on, please do. Our special guest host is an attorney. She's been an attorney for, I think, 30 plus years, barred in New York State, I know, and maybe a couple of other cities. So if you want to stay on, please feel free to do. But if you have to go, we understand, and we look forward to being able to assist in whatever future endeavors that you have going on.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. So our special guest co-host for the month of October, which we have set aside to showcase the Ministry of Law and Justice, has been with us from the very beginning. Every show we've done since 2016. Wow. Every month, every show dealing with law and justice. Since 2016, she has cleared her calendar to be able to come on and help us out by sharing her legal expertise. I call her the people's attorney. She's the nation's attorney, because everybody in the Nation of Islam, especially those of you out of Shireen's neck of the woods, the New York City, have utilized the skills of our sister. She has helped so many people in legal situations. She's a brilliant legal mind. She has worked in the legal department, working for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So she's a part of that circle of attorneys around the nation who help to do nation's programs. And we are fortunate to have her here now in the city of Atlanta, the state of Georgia. And again, she's carrying on that giving spirit of being able to help in legal matters for those of us who have gotten into or need legal advice. Not necessarily gotten into trouble, but need legal advice. So please help me welcome. I know wherever you are, you're probably in your car, you're probably at your office or somewhere listening. But if you can, give a rounding applause. Stand up in your seat and welcome our dear sister Barbara Muhammad.
Sister Barbara.
She's fumbling with her phone.
I see her hand in front of the phone.
You see me?
We see your hand.
Oh, okay. I'm trying. How is this? Okay, now this is better. This is better. Yeah. Thank you for having me once again.
Yes, ma'am.
It's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
Yes, ma'am. Praise be to Allah. We are excited to have you on. We are always looking forward to you sharing with us what's going on in the world of law, as you know it in 2018. And what do you think of the role of paralegal? Have paralegals assisted you in the past?
Oh, yes, yes. Paralegals are very, very helpful. They
Mm-hmm.
do a lot of the groundwork.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what the sister was saying, that they do all the hard work.
They
It made
do. They do.
it made me think of the nurse's role to the doctor. Is that or physician assistant
That
to the doctor?
that's a yeah, that's a good comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Sister Barbara, you may have to use your other hand because that hand is over the camera.
It's in the way. Is
Yes.
this better?
Uh, no.
Okay. I'm in a car.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we hear it.
It's
Brother
not?
Brother
Eddie
Eric
probably
agrees.
Let's see.
driving now. In
There we go.
because she was sitting in a location. She was at a restaurant.
Right. Oh, they're done eating now.
Now
So,
now I'm in the car.
right.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
you
Yes.
may want to use the other hand because that
Okay.
thumb is just covering up every bit of the
Is
camera.
that better?
That's a
Is
lot
this
better.
is this
Lot
better?
better.
Oh,
Lot
thank
better. Lot
goodness.
better. Okay.
All right. Okay.
So, Sister Barbara, we know that you've been practicing law for a long time, but how long have you been practicing law? And also, what made you decide to take the law field, the law route? What was it that made you do that?
I have been practicing law for about since 1984, and
That's the year before I graduated from high school.
yes, the way I got involved in law is I was in college and I was getting ready to graduate from 4 years of college, and I said I took the law school entrance exam and also the exam to get a master's in business administration. I said if I got into law school, I'd go there, and if I didn't, then I'd go for the MBA, which is Masters for Business Administration. But I got accepted to 5 law schools, so did it.
Oh,
That's how
just
I ended up studying
okay,
law.
okay, all right, wonderful. And is there a particular
And, I,
area of law that you decided to become an expert in?
well, you have to be an expert in all areas because
Okay.
the bar exam covers all areas, and you have to know all areas very well. But I ended up having a law practice. I started working with once I got my license. I started working with Sister Ava and Brother Larry, the
Mhm.
three of us, and
That's
we,
history right there. And brothers and
yeah,
sisters, she's Sister Ava Muhammad, the student national spokesperson for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, is the Sister Ava. That she's just cavalierly throwing her name
she
around.
she was my mentor because she was already a lawyer
Yes.
when I started, and I learned a lot from her. And she's dynamite.
Oh, wonderful.
So we did a general practice law firm. We didn't do every single area, but we did criminal cases, family law, and those 2 areas mainly. And then we did some of the other areas. But
Okay.
we loved doing it, and we loved helping people.
Hmm.
And
Now, the question I have for
I
you
was
about
trying to
that.
listen to a little bit of her, but I think I'm gonna log off.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. The question that I have, Sister Barbara, is once you started practicing law,
yes.
what did you find out was something that you absolutely loved about law and something that was disheartening about the profession of law?
Okay. Well, I love helping people and getting them their just due. And what else? I don't know. I just loved it because I loved all the different areas because it was so exciting. You never got bored. But the biggest part of it was I loved helping people.
Got you. What's his name? Johnny Cochran. The
Yes.
one case that Johnny Cochran said I think he's only lost one case that he regretted, and that was the case of Geronimo Pratt. Geronimo Jajaga. And eventually he got his freedom, but it was years later. I think he spent about 24, 25 years in prison. Then when he came out, he moved to South Africa, and he subsequently made his transition. Are there any cases that stick out in your mind that you know that it should have gone another way? It should have gone in the way of the person that you were representing?
Not really. We were successful with most of our cases.
Okay.
And
All right.
and it was a thrill getting justice for the nation. Being
Yes.
sued by all these different people, the minister being sued, and suing the New York Post and all
Now
these.
that's a historic case right there. You worked on that particular case?
We won that case for the nation.
What? Oh, did what?
It
Now,
was
a little bit of history for those that may not be aware. In what, the mid '90s, the Nation of Islam sued Fox. What's his name? What's the guy's name? Rupert Murdoch. Rupert Murdoch.
Yes.
News Corps. Is it News Corps? His organization
Yes.
that owns a lot of newspapers around the world. The New York Post is one of them. And the Nation of Islam sued them for $4.4 billion. And Sister Barbara, come to find out, was part of the legal team in that particular case.
Sister Barbara, Sister Ava, and Brother Larry, we were the only lawyers working on that case.
Oh, wow. Now, that is historic. Is there anything about that case that you can share with us that was, you know, just like overwhelming? Or overwhelming is not the actual word I'm looking for, but I mean, that's historic right there, Sister Barbara. You got to give us something about that particular case.
What was great is that we won the case. That was the great part.
That's the best part, right?
Yes. And you know, after that case, they got off the minister's back a little bit because people didn't want to get sued, because they were writing all kinds of stuff about the minister, accusing him of everything under the sun, killing Malcolm, all kinds of stuff. So that slowed them down. You know, after that case,
they were not expecting a black organization to challenge them, and especially the Nation of Islam, albeit we have the nation and the minister have influence all across the planet, but to take a legal battle like that to the face of the enemy, I'm sure they were not ready for that.
No, they weren't. They were not. They were not ready. They were not ready. It's funny because after that, whenever we went into court, even the judges, they turned red. Whenever we walked into the courtroom, they you know, it was like amazing. Everything got quiet. So what these cases did was it helped to keep these people off of the minister's back, because they didn't want to have to deal with him in court.
Excellent.
All these years, Sister Barbara, I never knew that. I never knew that role that you played in that. That is absolutely, as Sister Cherie would say, phenomenal. Wow.
Well, what happened? You know what? We came to the nation when the minister was just getting ready to start back with the nation, and he didn't really have any lawyers. Lou Myers did a lot of cases for him. Lou Myers was his friend, but he wasn't really, you know, assigned. He had his own practice, which was separate, and he helped a lot. And he showed us, you know, he gave us tips, showed us what to do, guided us, and we just took it and ran with it. Hello, I think I lost it.
No, I think Brother Jahi went out.
Oh, okay, I got it back.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. Excellent. So the cases you were saying that Lou Myers handled most of his cases, and it eventually.
Well, actually, the minister didn't have too many cases before he started back with the nation. Lou Myers was his friend,
Okay.
and whenever legal matters came up, not necessarily cases, but
Oh,
just
okay.
legal
Just things that
issues,
he needed representation on.
yeah, Lou Myers took care of that for him. But once me, Sister Ava, Brother Larry came in, no, the minister had his own lawyers in the nation.
Right. Okay.
And then a couple years after that, Brother Arif accepted. And then the last one to accept was Brother Burvey. He was in law school when we were, already working.
Yeah, excellent. So, I have a question. And the question
yes.
that I have, how important is it for just an individual to have a lawyer?
Just in general, without having a case?
I was talking with someone, and I'm trying to remember the context of the story right now, but it was like, the person said, well, I just contacted my lawyer. Like, how many of us have a lawyer in our back pockets to say, this is who I'm going to contact when I have a issue, a question, or concern? Like I know you have assisted me with the sale of my home in New York. Then I was able to call on you. Now,
I had a lot of people.
This was in 2002. So it was a while
right.
ago.
I mean, people in the nation always came to us, with their legal issues, because they felt safe with us, and we would give them breaks. I mean, we would hardly charge them.
Right.
And so they would call up, and sometimes we talk to them on the phone. Lawyers don't talk to you on the phone. You have to make an appointment and come in. But we were very relaxed and giving, and we weren't thinking so much money. And we just helped a lot of people. I was never at a loss for clients, even though we charged like nominal fees. Yeah, right. But it felt good to help. Felt good to help people.
Yes, ma'am. Praise be to Allah, and may Allah be pleased with all those that you have assisted.
Oh, yes.
Ma'am. So the question I have, I was asking, because I know sometimes, like, you just know that you are aware of a lawyer that you can call. But what about,
yes,
many of us who just go into court representing ourselves? How important is it for you to actually have a lawyer when you go before a judge?
You are at a disadvantage if you represent yourself, because the lawyer knows all the keys and the rules and everything. So you are at a disadvantage trying to go up against another lawyer if you're not trained and licensed.
Right. Excellent.
You may end up getting your case dismissed on a technicality.
On a
if you're trying to represent yourself.
Right.
Yeah, because you don't know the law in and out.
Excellent. Then, another question that I have heard that many of the cases that there's this whole big thing now, at least is popular. I don't know how new things are, but it's popular that police officers that have murdered unarmed Black men in particular got off because of not being charged with the right charge. Are you aware of that?
Oh, yes.
So
I'm aware of it, and it's done deliberately.
Right, because I mean, if I know the law, and I know, I am a person who works in the law, and I know the law. I know how to use the law to my advantage. So how significant, if at all, a lawyer would be in the front end of ensuring that the right charge is placed, or in those
Well,
particular types of cases?
actually, the lawyer has nothing to do with the charges.
Okay.
So they don't have that much control. All they can do is fight it,
Okay.
fight the charges.
Wow. So is the prosecutor that has control over the charges?
Yes.
So what input, or how can we have an input as citizens? Or do we
really don't. We can't. We can't. Because you're not allowed to have an input.
So this is why people are asking for there to be another type of representation, because by the nature of their existence on a daily basis, prosecutors work very closely with police officers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so to me, I would see that as a conflict of interest, because they're working, you know, I work with people. The people whom I work with, I develop an affinity for. You know, I have a close relationship.
Definitely.
It's very difficult.
And they will do, and
to turn against
a lot of them will do their best. Yeah, not to even charge them.
Exactly.
They do their best. Yeah.
So
that's how it is.
So how can we get involved in an action that would cause a setup of some other entity to be responsible for holding officers responsible?
I guess just with people, you know, protesting a lot and trying to challenge somehow the prosecutors for not doing their job.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're looking out for the criminal police. And,
Yes.
you know, you just have to try to fight against them. But sometimes if they're not charged properly, you won't get the result that you need.
Right. Did you hear that question, Brother Jahi?
I did not.
I had asked her, what is it that, well, I'd asked a couple of questions leading to that, but the last question I asked her was, what is it that we could do, you know, as citizens? Because I talked about the nature of the relationship between prosecutors and police officers, and mentioning the fact that many officers many of them have gone uncharged. Those who have been charged got off because they got the wrong charge. And so knowing that if you don't charge the supposed criminal with the right charge, then they get off because that was the wrong charge, right? And then you charge them again for the same crime. So if the nature of the relationship between the prosecutors and the police officers is that they work closely together, and then when you work closely with someone, unless you have some strong animosity against them, you build an affinity towards that person. So it's a conflict of interest. It becomes a conflict of interest in that case. See, in the case of a police officer bringing a criminal to court, or supposed or alleged criminal to court, then the police officer is working in concert with the prosecutor, right? You know, but in the case of now the police officer who just had a coffee break with the prosecutor is now the alleged criminal. How can we say that this prosecutor is going to represent properly without bias?
I know. The only thing that I can think of is that we have to get together as groups and challenge some of these laws and challenge these actions by protesting. I think that's the only way that we're going to get some change.
And Sister Barbara, and yes, Sister Shireen, as you were posing that question, I watch a lot of Law and Order. I've been a Law and Order fan for 20 plus years.
Wow.
And on Law and Order, that's exactly what comes out, is that the police and the prosecutors work in conjunction. So if something comes up against a police officer, the prosecutor, based upon the TV show, is going to be a lot less apprehensive about trying to just like go wholeheartedly after that police officer, because they need them to help prosecute their other cases. So yeah, that is a sticky relationship. Not sticky, it is a close relationship, and we're on the outside not watching it. So as Sister Barbara said about protesting, I think another arena that we have to get into is the laws themselves.
Yes, try to change the laws.
Right, you got to change the law, the policy, because the policy and the law, because it's there that these officers of the court are able to get away with these atrocious acts, because they always go back to the law. With the situation in which ushered in this modern era with the Trayvon Martin situation.
Yes.
They acted upon, or they talked about the law of stand your ground. George Zimmerman his ground. And he wasn't
right.
his ground. That's the law, and then you had the lawyers that were able to, convince the people that that's what he was doing. And all of these cases are like that. Or I was fearful for my life. Although, like in the case with Anthony Hill, the brother had gone off and served his country, came back with post-traumatic stress syndrome. 26 years old. He's butt naked. That means he had no clothes on at all. The police shot him in the back as the man was running away from him, but he said he was fearful of his life. A butt naked man running away from you.
Right.
Yes.
So,
this is what I wanted to get at, because most people would say we have to vote, which is true. I mean,
vote. I don't know.
There's a role of that, because prosecutors are elected. However, once they become elected, they still have to work closely with the police department.
The attorney general and the district attorney are elected officials. Everybody else in that office are appointed by the district attorney and or the attorney general.
Okay. So even with that, I thought prosecutors were also elected on the federal level.
On the chief one. On the state level,
your phone is you're cutting off.
Yeah.
Something. Okay, hold on.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
It's kind of weak. Yes, I said on the state level, the attorney general is elected, and on the local level, the district attorney is elected. Those that work underneath him are appointed by him or her in that position.
Okay. So knowing something about a person's background, their integrity, this or that, that can play a role in it. But as someone has been working together for 10 years, 5 years, 20 years, they develop a relationship, which is inherent in that is a conflict of interest.
Right.
Whether you have a predisposition against a people, as we know, being prejudiced or anything like that, whether you have that or not, you still work with this person, which by the nature of that relationship makes you unable to be truly unbiased. Like you would ask that question on a jury selection. Do you have any relations with? Go ahead, Sister Barbara. I'm sorry.
What we have to remember is the prosecutor and these police, they're the same people. They feel the same way the police feel. So, that's part of it. They don't want to hurt them, not just because they work together and they're friends. They're racist, just like the police.
There's no doubt about that. But I'm saying, even if they were not, I think it's a conflict of interest. you know,
It is. It is.
for them to, if we didn't have the question of race, you know,
Right.
we had a law-abiding citizen, you know, who cares for
Yes.
all people
Mm-hmm.
and equally.
Yes.
You know, let's, you know, just
Uh-huh.
hypothetically speaking, the fact that you work together with this person on a daily basis, y'all have each other's back, you're fighting for each other on a daily basis, and these
Right.
right? So then now this person, your friend, now becomes in need of your assistance. You are inclined to assist.
Yes.
I mean,
That's
just by the
right.
nature of the relationship. So to me, that needs
That's right.
to change, as well as what Brother Jahi is saying. In addition to that, you know, getting involved in changing the laws, getting involved at the front end of litigation. You know, many times we have no clue of what's going up for law. Laws are being passed,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
on a daily basis, and we don't have a clue about what that is. It's not a
Until
part
that,
of our culture to even be concerned.
Right.
And so that
We-
has to, you know, just in this month, inshallah, we can bring light to that process of being aware
yes.
on the front end of laws coming up, and how do laws get even introduced as a possibility?
all right.
How do we get it on the table? You know, that I think is worth discussing.
Absolutely.
It is. It is. It is. We have to try everything because you know, that's the only way things are going to change.
Absolutely. Well, we are at the
Yes.
7:36 hour.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Brother Jahi, did you have any parting questions?
Well, yes, yes. To those who are watching, please bear with us. We got a little bit of a late start, and we will be remiss if we did not hear from what's happening in the world of more awareness now with little sweet Khadijah and all the other agri children from our sister, as well as we have to say something about Sister Sandy. She's been burning the candles 24 hours, been partying all weekend. That's why she
She's party all the time. No,
party all the time.
she is Sister Sandy. Sister Sandy is really. I'm just so proud of her and the things that she's doing in the community, working. You know, she has expanded her partnerships. You know, working with Sister Kava with Heaven at Your. I think is it Heaven at Your Feet or your foot? Heaven at Your Foot. Her and Sister Allison with the Sacred Womb, and Sister Sandy with Soul Wisdom International, helping to heal the community. You know, how can we be encouraged to go and get assistance? You know, can anything on our body work without our mind? Can anything that we think of doing work without the soundness of mind? You know, we must have the soundness of mind. We must have the energy and spirit to be able to bring into fruition that which we dream of, what we think of. And you know, if we're one of those who've been dreaming for a long time and that dream just has not come into fruition, consider going to get your mind in order. You know, I have to make sure I work on that. You know, Sister Sandy has a workshop coming up October 14th from 12 to 5 p.m. at 406C Forest Parkway. That's 406C Forest Parkway, and that is Your Life Center. The name of her business establishment is Your Life Center, and that's where she is serving the life of all of us. Those of us who are able, her and her partners are there every weekend working to assist us. So go and get your mind checked. I was reading the text. She's texted me that she's unable to be on today. And you know, she's on every week, but she was unable to be on today. So she wanted to remind us of the Reiki workshop. Reiki workshop October 14th, 12 to 5 p.m. For more information, you can contact Sister Sandy at 770-906-6193. That's 770-906-61. Oh, there's a number on the screen. I'm sorry, 404-541-0889. That's 404-541-0889 for more information. October 14th, that's just in 2 weeks. I mean, this time is flying. And I don't know about you, but I'm trying to get my dreams into reality. I'm trying to move it quickly into reality. So go ahead and contact Sister Sandy Buford Muhammad of Soul Wisdom International, and either herself or one from her team will assist you in your endeavors of building the human spirit through the mind of your business. We don't want to have any excuses going into 2019. We don't want to still be waiting to take the first step towards our dreams. Some of us have not taken the first step. Can we just get the first step in? And then those of us who put our toe in the water, can we actually get the whole thing wet? Can we get it started? Let's not have these excuses. And Brother Jahi, he, so graciously mentioned my dear little sweet Khadijah. She grows all things sweet. We're looking forward to her coming out October 16th, working diligently to make that a reality, removing all excuses. And of course, we still have why I wear my headpiece, and I am the seed of greatness. That each of which are available at agrachild.com. That's agrachild.com. Thank you so much, Brother Jahi.
All praise is due to Allah. We had a special guest scheduled for this evening as well. But with some of the activity that's going on now, we're going to have to bring him on at another time in the show, and that is the Rock of the South, Brother Minister Abdul Rahman Muhammad. Today is the anniversary of his 87th rotation around the sun, and now we're having it's FOI class time now, so I'm about to sign off in the next 52 seconds so I can join my brothers in FOI class here in Atlanta, and we'll have to schedule another time with Minister Rahman. He was so forward to looking to coming on, but there was some other things that transpired before we could bring him on to the show, but we'll definitely be hearing from him. You're talking about the consummate businessman, and he had to deal with a lot of legal situations and when he was as the regional minister here in Atlanta, dealing with the business as well as just dealing with society in general. So we're definitely looking forward to hearing from him on those matters. So as we close out, thank you, Sister Barbara, for joining us, and we look forward to, inshallah, having you back next week with one of your celebrity legal friends.
Okay.
Celebrity legal friends that you're on first name basis with.
Oh. We're all in the struggle together,
That's
You're
right.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
I just want to, if you don't mind, Sister Shereen, I just want to end it by saying this, and I love that idea. If anyone that is listening that knows the political process, this is law and justice. Politics is part of that process. Please email us at mindmoneyshow, mindmoneyshow@gmail.com. We would love to showcase you this month so you can come on and talk about these processes. What does it take? Now, when I was growing up, there was that song, I'm only a bill sitting on the steps of Capitol Hill. So, and the guy that wrote it, he just passed early this year. But we
Wow.
knew at that time what it took to get a bill passed. So, in your local communities, what does it take to, and in your local communities, they're called ordinances. In the city of Atlanta, there's an ordinance. In the city of Jonesboro, there's an ordinance. What does it take to get an ordinance passed in your community? We need somebodies that know that process to come on and share that information with us so we can be more informed about these types of things so we really can, as Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan gave us a charge in 2016, 10-10-15, 2015, 10-10-15, 2015 at the anniversary of the Million Man March, that we can go out and make our neighborhoods a safe and decent place to live. And part of that process is knowing what the laws are in those particular communities, how to enact
That's
those laws,
right.
how to implement the laws that are more beneficial to us in our communities, and do away with those laws that are against us. Because the enemy can always go back to the law book. And number two, what I was thinking about is this is the minister advanced to us the ministry of law and justice. We have and want to make it even bigger, centers put in place where you're having a dispute with someone. You don't have to go to their system to get it resolved. You come to your own system that is based upon righteousness and justice in order to get those situations resolved. That is how a sovereign nation operates, and that is exactly what we're attempting to do here. So with that, thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you to Sister Shawn Andrews, the virtual paralegal, for sharing that dynamic information. Thank you to Attorney Barbara Muhammad for sharing what you have shared, and we look forward to more from you this month of October, the month dealing with the Ministry of Law and Justice. And Sister Shireen, who's always holding it down, the producer, the host, the designer. She wears like 14 hats just on this entity alone. So we thank you for the professional job that you do to help make it happen. And Sister Sandy, we pray that you get over your hangover. I'm just playing. She doesn't. No, I'm just playing. little jokey joke. Sister Sandy is a
She
hard worker. She's in the community. She had an
Yeah,
event
she
this
spent the whole
weekend.
day in the community this
Absolutely.
yesterday and the day
And
before.
all day today. Right. So she's taking a well-deserved rest, and we look forward to having her back next week. But also check out her Wednesday live. Every Wednesday, go to Sandy Buford Muhammad Facebook page, and she do a 5 to 7 minute segment that is designed. Oh, she threatening me. Okay, you got thousands of She's threatening me. All right, but go to her Facebook page every Wednesday around noon, and she shares some dynamic information to help us get through the day and through the week. On Sandy Buford Muhammad's Facebook page, she's live for about 5 to 7 minutes every Wednesday at around noon. So I'm Jaheed, Mr. Communicator Muhammad. It's been a pleasure having you join us. Please spread the word, and we will see you next week, inshallah. Oh, 10 a.m., my bad. It's 10 a.m. every Wednesday, 10 a.m., not noon.
10
I
a.m.
usually don't watch it until noon, but it's 10 a.m.
Right, so you can go there and watch. You can go there and watch it now.
That's
You
that's
know,
the beauty. Yeah, you can
yeah,
go and watch last
you
week.
can go there and watch it now. And as we continue in the month of October with the Ministry of Law and Justice, we want to make sure that you get ready and to learn more about civil authority.
Yes,
government. It's going to be a refresher course because it's required in most states.
yes,
Right. So what is federal, what is state, what is city, how do you get involved? Why should you get involved? You know, what makes a law, what makes a bill, what is a bill, you know, who signs them in, how is it vetoed, all of these things, you know, so that we can be a little more active and proactive in securing ourselves and making sure that we have a voice in the matter, and not just a voice, but a big one. You know,
Yes.
I always think about those who don't go to the polls at all, but no law is against them. You know, what is it that they are doing that we are not? And a part of it has to deal with economic development, which on this show, you know, in fact, that's all of it. On this show, we focus on economic development. So if you have a business idea that you would like to get into motion, you know, contact us at 404. What's the number, Brother Jaheed?
438-3156.
That's right,
404-318-3156.
So that you can get your business off the ground. Let's get it going. Let's stop dreaming and let's start getting in the game, because it's economic development that doing for self, pooling resources, collective economics is what will set us free. May Allah continue to bless you. I love you all. Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam.